All right, cool. Well, we're going to dive in. And as people are tuning in, just make sure you say holla, say what's up, say money. Joe's from Seattle. Good to see you on here. They're going to be talking about the evolution of service, how you select who you're serving, what you're doing for them, and then how you do it. The subtitle that I wanted to use for this training was how to do work, get paid, then get paid. Ashton didn't want to use that. My team saved me from that folly. And anyways, if you do want a recording, sometimes, we're going through these live trainings and, sometimes you just want to actually save the video so you can watch it again. We're actually going to be able to send this recording to you plus my slide notes, a PDF of my slide and my notes here. You can go to trafficandfunnels.com/evolution and, do it after the training, or if you got a dip, you got a dip, then you can go ahead and fill this out now. But we're going to be sending you the recording of this and the PDF notes and everything along the way. And we're going to go deep today into the who, the what, and the how. The who, the what, and the how. Everything that you need to create a powerful offer. An offer that, pardon the cliche of what I'm about to say, but an offer that sells itself. This is real. Comes down to who you want to serve, what you want to do for them, and then how you're going to do it for them. But before we get started, I just want to make an agreement with you. An agreement with you. I believe that you should never attend a training. You should never consume information without the intent of implementation. Hopefully I'll get a few amens from that. We live in this knowledge society where it's like people are bombarded with information. I don't think that you should be attending training unless you have the intention of actually using what you're going to get from whatever it is you're consuming to go and implement it in your business. So I want you to make an agreement with me that if you're currently in a place where you feel like you could be earning more, you maybe feel like you deserve more, and you deserve to make more than you're making and to have more of an impact than you're currently making. And I can show you, if I can show you how to get you to the place that you want to get to over the next 30, 40 minutes, if I can show you how that's possible, if I can show you an extra 100,000 or 300,000, if I can show you how there's $500,000 locked up inside your business, that if you just had the right offer, the right tools, the right system, then you would be able to actually access that. I want you to make an agreement with me that you will at least be wise and invest another 30 or 40 minutes into getting on the phone and brainstorming with us about how to actually fix the holes, fix the gaps in your offer or your business, and get you that money. Okay? So again, the premise of this agreement that I want you to make is 100% you shouldn't be consuming information without the implementation aspect. And if I can show you how we can speed your journey up, if I can show you how you can actually get paid more while working less, if I can show you how to do it, do you make the agreement that you'll spend some time brainstorming whether we can make that happen for you? Yes or no? Throw it in the chat box. I want to actually see. Yes, Taylor, I agree. Who wouldn't? Just saying, if someone can show you how there's 100 grand or 400 grand locked up in your business and you can't agree to that, might be something wrong with you. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. Yes, yep. C, senor. I agree. Good. I love it. I'm going to bring this agreement back up at the end because we're going to go deep. I'm going to show you how to do this. But then I want the opportunity to actually help you do it faster. Okay? So here are a couple fundamental truths that we have to agree on before I actually teach you how to fine-tune and craft your offers. Number one, charging less than you deserve leads to burnout and ultimately decay. Charging less than you deserve leads to burnout and ultimately decay, because if you do not make the amount of money that you are capable and deserving of making from the work you do, you'll run out of time to optimize the how. We're going to talk about optimization on the how at the end. But let me ask you a question. Who here has bought a bad service? Just throw yep or yes or me in the chat box. And by the way, for those of you on Facebook, I'm watching you and I'm looking for who's commenting, and it looks like we got Pete Tansley on here who's not saying anything. Steve Brimner's on here who's not. Mark Strafford, Eli. Come on, people. Participate. How many of you have bought a bad service or something that they thought was going to work for you, but it didn't? Carrie says yes. Anna says yes. Nathan says yes. Obviously, all of us. Here's the second question. How many of you got a deal? You got a discount or you got some steal. Here's the thing. Things that are a ripoff are never a ripoff because of price. They're always a ripoff because the offer is not capable of solving the problem. And here's what I propose to you today, that unless you fix your offer, unless you start charging the money that you should be charging, you're going to become the ripoff to other people. Because you're all over here charging discounts. You're solving $1 million problems for $1.50. And at the end of the day, if you're doing that, the economics are not in favor of you actually being able to provide the best service to people. Okay, and so people buy for many different reasons, but almost every single time we buy off of price, it ends up being a regret because that's not the reason that you should be making decisions. And so I'm going to implore you to charge more, get into the realm of what you actually deserve to make for your offer, and I'll show you how to do that. That's the first thing. The second thing, right now there are about 2.5 billion people with internet. 2.5 billion people in the world with internet. I guarantee you there are millions of people in your realm of expertise who need what you have to offer, but your offers suck. They're not put together in a way that's actually intriguing. You got millions of people who are desperate for a solution, but at the end of the day, unless you actually put in the time to fix the offers, to fix what you're doing for people, then they're going to go somewhere else that's probably not as capable as you are. Here's the third thing. The right offer at the right time, at the right price, can solve almost every problem you have in your life, your business, your relationships, your health, etc. Think about that. Isn't it true? The right offer at the right time, at the right price, can literally solve almost every problem that people experience. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. It's a big deal. Somebody say it's a big deal in the chat. It's a big deal. So this is important work, guys. This is a really, really, really meaningful, profitable, long-lasting work. So put in the work with me today, and we're going to dive in. If you're ready to dive in, give me about 5 seconds. Going to grab a drink of coffee, and then we're going to hop into the actual training lesson. Give me 2 seconds. All right, here we go. The evolution of service, the who, the what, and the how. When we get into building offers for people, we're going to spend some time doing some Q&A, everything, but I'm just going to zoom through the middle of this training because it's intense, and we're going to slice and dice just the elements of a good offer. We call this offer economics. All right, so everything that goes into a great offer comes from the 5 things that you see on your screen right now. The size of the problem. Obviously, that's a big deal. We got a lot of people in the marketplace in tons of different industries are solving little problems and trying to figure out how to charge big fees for them. Well, it's not going to work. That doesn't work. You got to actually find big problems if you want to charge big fees. Okay? The size of the problem. The second thing is the time that the prospect has been experiencing the problem. Okay, so if you're out there marketing to people who've had problems for like 30 seconds, then there's going to be a disproportionate amount of things that people want for cheaper than what you should be charging for them. So the time that a prospect has been experiencing a problem is a big deal. It's important. Okay, and then the sophistication of the problem. And people get confused about sophistication levels and things like that, but let me just simplify it for you. Give me just picture one problem is like mowing your grass. Okay, so how many people in the world are there for you to hire to mow your grass? 1,000, 10,000, a million. There are a lot of people that you can hire to mow your grass. Okay. How many people are there that can actually do surgery on your brain to remove a tumor or to fix something in the neuroscience? Not as many. So the sophistication, here's how I want you to think of sophistication, is inversely correlated to the amount of people who can compete with you to solve the same thing. All right, light bulb should be going off in your head right now. Oh, this is what sophistication means. Low sophistication means that there are a lot of people, a lot of competitors, a lot of different crazy people who can say they do the same thing. A high sophistication is not a lot of people can do what you can do. Does that make sense? Sophistication is one of the biggest levers. When I show you the graph here on these next few slides, you're going to see it. But sophistication is one of the biggest levers to be able to earn more. Okay? And then the degree of certainty with which you can solve the problem, right? So you got the size, the time, the sophistication, and then the degree of certainty with which you can solve the problem. So if I am 20% certain that I can solve your problem, that's going to be a different payday than if I am 100% certain that I can solve your problem. And this is a problem with a lot of marketers today. This is a problem with a lot of people who are, quote, experts. It's like, okay, well, they just took one course from a paid ads guru, and now they're selling their course to other people who need ads. Their certainty is way off. All right, so let me tell you this. About to call a whole bunch of people out right now, but when you see someone who's promising to solve a big problem, and it's something that a lot of people need, and then they're charging $100 for it, usually what that's telling the market is that, hey, I'm not certain. My certainty is off. This is why it's so important for you to charge what you're freaking worth. We had a client come in, her name was Tasha. She was wonderful. Absolutely certain, but she didn't understand these things. And we started working with her, and we took her prices from $200 to, I think she was charging $6,500 by the time she exited as a client. And how many of you know she was actually losing a lot of clients when she was charging $200, because what it communicated to her prospects is, my certainty is not high enough for me to solve this transformational, life-altering problem for you. Okay? All right? Is this making sense for you guys, or am I ahead of you? Do I need to slow down? I want to make sure we're all good. Cool. And then the speed with which you can solve the problem. Okay? So literally, if you can solve something in a week for someone, you're able to charge more than if you could solve something in 10 weeks. So all you freelancers, people who are charging freelance, fundamentally, freelancing is great, but your business model is broken, because freelancing, the better you get, the faster you get, the less money you make, because you charge per hour. And it should be flipped around. It should be reversed. So we have to take you from a freelance model to a business owner model, which actually says that, okay, the better I get and the faster I get, the more money I make. Okay, so you can see where who, what, and how fits into all of these different things. The size of the problem, that's what you're solving. The time the prospect has been experiencing the problem, that's the who's dealing with the problem. The sophistication of the problem, that's what are you doing for them. The degree of certainty with which you solve, that's how you're solving the problem. And then the speed is how you're solving the problem as well. So how many of you would like to see the perfect offer? I've got a couple bullets on the next screen that outline the perfect offer. And if you can get your offer in alignment with these things, it's going to be gold. It's going to be gold. Irresistible. No one's going to be able to say no. Got 90 of you here, and about 7 of you want to see the perfect offer. That's great. There we go. Here's the perfect offer. Number 1, the problem is painful. Number 2, they've been trying to solve this problem for a while. Number 3, the results are virtually guaranteed. Very high certainty. Number 4, results happen quickly. And then number 5, we're going to talk about this a little bit today, pricing. If you can get your fee split up into the actual results of the offer, you've got a gold mine of an offer. I'm not saying that you work for free. Please don't do that. But when it comes down to manipulating the economics of an offer, anytime you can wrap your fee into the results coming out of the offer, which is why genuine expertise is necessary. You got an irresistible offer. No one can say no to this. Anyone who's closable, even if you're not great at sales, anyone who's closable will sign up for an offer that meets everything on this screen. Okay? So the rest of the time today, we're going to be doing the work of actually uncovering for you, here are the different stages of an offer. And the end goal is that you get clarity on what does it take to make an offer fit into this category that you see on the screen. People are asking some questions. We'll hit some questions here at the end of the training. Got some questions about guaranteed, things like that. We'll cover all of this. Okay, everybody see this on the screen right now. You should see a graph with a little line above it. You want to take a screenshot maybe of this picture and put it in your Evernote or save it somewhere, print it out so you can write on it later, or sign up for the PDF notes and you'll get it. But this graph has made more money for more people than almost anything else I can think of. Every single offer is going to fit inside of this graph. And so let me explain this to you real fast, and we'll take you through a couple examples of real clients right now who are using this graph to make tons of money. All right. So on the left-hand side, you've got what are you doing for people? And at the bottom, that would be a low sophistication problem. So if you're mowing the grass, where are you going to be on this chart? You're going to be down at the very bottom. Be down at the very bottom because that's not a sophisticated problem. And then all the way you go up, the problems get more sophisticated. And then from the left to the right, you've got who are you doing this for? And the more advanced someone is, so for instance, the further along to the right you go, the more advanced this person is, and it's correlated with the problems that they need solved. All right. And at the bottom left-hand corner, this is the largest market. This is why people get started doing like, hey, I'm a freelance copywriter for everyone with money. All right, I'll just literally write for anybody. Or, hey, I'm a health coach. Okay, well, who do you serve? It's anybody who needs to lose weight. Because the largest market is typically at the very bottom of this corner, and the small market is at the top, okay? And so you've got people that start at the bottom, and the goal over the course of your business is to evolve up into the top right. It's making sense? Great. Okay, so we've got the large market at the bottom. We've got the small market at the top. And as you go along, you begin to change who you serve, what you do for them, how you do it. And the goal of this is all along the way, you get an offer that gets closer and closer and closer into the category that we spoke to on the screen a couple slides ago, which was like painful problem, all of those things. You guys remember that. Okay, so here are a couple examples. I'm going to give you real life examples of real people who came in. So let's say we're in the relationship niche. Here would be an example of the bottom left-hand corner. Looking for a spouse. This is your market. Your market's looking for a spouse. They've never dated anyone before. They're self-conscious. And you're going to send them people you find manually from all the dating sites. Like literally people have started working with us who do this. Okay, hey, nothing wrong, no judgment, but look at who the market is. The market is very wide. The market is very unsophisticated. The problem is unsophisticated. And you're going to get at the most, like you can charge $500 for this. You scale all the way to the top right-hand corner. And maybe you're going after a market who's been married for 7 years or married for a while. The marriage is unfulfilling and unstable. And you're going to consult with them to fix the deep-rooted trust issues that they have with one another and teach them how to get better. Tell me, in your opinion, which offer is going to pay you more? Which client is going to pay you more money? Glenn says the top one. Small market. Yep, all the way top right. Small market. Small market. Married folks. More at stake. You hit on something amazing there, Gary, that the more sophisticated the problem, typically the further along the client, and therefore the more they have at stake as well. Okay? So not only is the top right going to pay you more, but how much work is going to be involved in actually doing this as an expert? On the left-hand bottom side, you're like doing a bunch of manual work, and you're like sending them emails and sending them a bunch of people to talk to and being crazy. And on the top right-hand side, you maybe have 4 sessions with them or 7 sessions with them or whatever. And it's a very targeted problem that you are more than capable of solving. This is making sense. I hope this is putting the puzzle pieces together for you. We'll keep going. Let's do another example. Let's say this is the online e-commerce niche. Okay. Bottom left-hand side, here's your market. New businesses who are struggling to get sales, and you will build them a funnel and run all their traffic to get them started. That's going to be a lot of work, and it's a very low sophistication. Versus the person on the top right-hand corner, hey, I'm going after successful e-commerce businesses. They have at least 100K in sales, and the problem that I'm solving for them is their ad prices are going up, and I'm going to add a content plan after doing research, and I'm going to tell them exactly how and what to write in their content to decrease ad costs. Which client is going to pay you more money? Definitely the top right one. And then here's again, I want you guys to see the correlation between who's going to pay you more money and then the actual physical manual effort that you're going to have to put into delivering these 2 offers. For real, you can solve the problem in the top right as an expert with a lot less juice than the bottom left, and you're going to get paid more. So I'm saying, hey, here's how to get more money for less effort. That's not a selfish thing. That's not a zero-sum game. That's not me taking advantage of my market. That's saying, no, I'm going to actually serve the market better. I'm going to make more money, and I'm going to serve them by solving problems that don't take me 19 years to fix. All right, here's another example. Fitness niche, okay? Somebody comes in and it's like, hey, I'm going to serve. This is actually a real client back in the day who started building this. People who are like tons overweight, like 200-300 pounds overweight, and they want to lose 100 pounds. And you're going to make custom meal plans and charge $100 for them. In fact, this just recently happened with a client who was like, man, I don't understand. It's like, I'll talk to people who are like literally on death's door and they won't buy. And then I'll talk to people who are like, they only need to lose like 6 pounds and they buy. Yes, dude. Yes. Because of the sophistication problem, the sophistication of the problem that the person is experiencing. So on the top right-hand corner, you change that offer. Hey, I'm going to go after healthy executives, entrepreneurs who want to lose a bit of weight, but more importantly, they just want to be healthy so they can run their companies well. And you consult with them and charge $8,000. You guys with me so far? This is massive. This is like a massive aha moment for a lot of you, that you are undercharging because you're serving the wrong who and you're doing the wrong what, and therefore you can't make the money you want to make because it's all correlated together. There are a lot of people out there who are like, yeah, just raise your prices, man. Just add like $10,000. Well, you can't do that a lot of times, because unless you kind of optimize how you're doing it and change a little bit of what you're doing and who you're like, all of this is not some big, hey, we're just going to change everything in your business. It's these little micro tunes and these changes that position you so that you can actually earn more money. Okay. Hey, let's do a little giveaway real fast. If you guys are good with it, I want to hear your best takeaways so far. We're about halfway through this training, and biggest takeaways so far, send it to me, and Ashton's going to pick one person, and we're actually going to send you one of our free offer trainings that we give to clients. So it's one of our copywriters who actually talks about crafting offers. This is really, really, really cool. And to this date, actually, it's never been released outside of our private client group. So Jack says, work less, earn more. So give me some more takeaways, and then we'll go to the next one. Narrowing focus. Christy says, narrowing focus to bring more value to my work. This makes a lot of sense. Deborah says, to sell your quality product, you have to charge more. There you go. Niche down. They're coming in so fast, I can't even see all of them. Here we go. I am killing myself doing lower left because I'm afraid of not getting in front of the right people. That's a big one. The more at stake, the higher the prices you can charge because you're solving one big problem. It's a great one. These are great. Serve the right clients. Client selection. All right, Ashton, you pick somebody and shoot him a message, and we'll send him that offer training. Mel, love this. See it, clear example. See it in black and white. Love the idea of how to approach. Very, very good. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I got more for you. You know, we talk about the who, the what, the how. We talk about how to go from large market to small market and kind of scale up. I figured you guys would be interested in actually seeing my timeline. This is my who, what, how. And this is my journey from how I started. And so if you notice at the beginning of the training, I didn't really introduce myself or be like, oh, here's my, founder story or whatever. You can look me up if you don't know, but I started as a typical freelancer. I was writing copy, and I started just trying to write copy for pretty much anybody with money. I didn't have an industry. I was literally like, hey, if you have a credit card, I will write copy for you. And over time, I started getting more and more specific. I switched to writing just for Infusionsoft users because I noticed that Infusionsoft users typically were a little further along and further advanced, and then changed to, I started restricting who I would take as a client based on their income and their goals. So I'd only work with people who, served Infusionsoft and also made at least $250,000 a year. And then I started teaching other copywriters and still taking them for you. And all along the way, you can see how my offer evolved. All right. So boom, changed the who. All right. I went from writing copy for everyone to just writing copy for a specific who, a specific type of person. And then I changed the how. So I added an onboarding process that allowed me to take more clients and really make sure that the results were stayed, locked in. And then I changed the who again. And then I changed the what. And whenever you change the what, everything else is bound to change as well. Because you're actually changing your market to an extent. Then I started consulting only. I stopped doing done for you. So I changed the who and I changed the how. So this is my journey. This is how I started from the very beginning. And this is the evolution of a really healthy client business. If you've been serving the same crowd with the same problem in the exact same way for 7 years, you're probably not doing something as well as you could be. I have so much admiration and so much respect for the people in our industry who have been serving the same market for 10 years. But even the guys who are at the very, very top, they're always changing the how, and they're always changing a little bit of the what. Does this make sense? The goal here is to make sure you're evolving in one of these three: the who, the what, the how. Not necessarily that if you are serving the same market for 10 years, there's something wrong with you. No, but you just want to make sure you optimize everything else. Does this make sense? You guys getting this? Good. Just a reminder, if you do want the videos, someone was on Facebook earlier saying, yeah, I would love the PDF. All you have to do is go to this link, trafficandfunnels.com/evolution. This is totally free, and we'll send you video recording, the PDF notes. There's some notes that I have in the PDFs that aren't on the screen as well. So go check that out. Here's another example of a client. This is Ryan. You guys may have seen Ryan Steenberg. So he came in. He was doing done for you ads for pretty much anybody in the world. And then he changed to just serving e-commerce. And then he changed to coaching others how to run. And then he started hiring those people to run ads for his clients. All right. So he changed a little bit of the how. And then he started doing consulting on the front end and done for you on the back end. Now he's just profit-based. So he does a monthly retainer plus percentage of sales. And this kid is killing it. He's killing it. So you can see the evolution here. Things are never staying the same. Things are always optimizing. Here's my point. Over time, you should end up solving bigger problems, getting paid more money, while at the same time having to do less and less to do it. That's the purpose of a business. Okay, this is the whole purpose of niching. This is the whole purpose of systems. Okay, I call it an evolution because you're never just staying in the same market with the same problem in the same way, indefinitely, or you're going to become extinct. All right, here's why burnout happens. Burnout happens because if you can't shift what you're doing to match the problems you enjoy solving, you run out of energy. Okay, so you got to be willing to constantly adapt in the areas where you feel like, man, you know what? My offer just isn't cutting it anymore. You know, someone earlier asked, when do you need to evolve? Well, when you start hating your business, when you realize that, you know, you're doing all this work and you're not keeping any money, right? And when, you know, maybe you hop on a training like this and you see how much money our clients make and you're like, well, shoot, like maybe I've been really cutting myself too much slack. Or I need to get someone to help me pull up to the level that I deserve to be at. And here's the real secret. If you're writing something, taking notes or something, you need to write these things down. Number one, who do I love to serve? Who do I love? Who do I enjoy serving so much that if I had to, and I didn't need the money, I would do it for free? If you already have your answer, you can throw it in the chat and we'll build an offer from scratch right now. But this is important. Who do I love to serve? Number two, what do they need the most? All right, there's a major problem when I see an entrepreneur or a business person and they're like, hey, I made this thing. Can you help me sell it? No, I cannot and I will not, because you're already out of alignment. You don't make something and then try to force people to buy it. You answer these questions. Who do I love to serve and what do they need the most? And you build what the market needs. Who do I love to serve? What do they need the most? Number three, what do I enjoy to do? What do I enjoy doing the most? And if you enjoy doing something that is not what the market needs, then you got to go back up into who do I serve and choose the second best. Because what we're looking for is alignment between these four things. Number four, what am I absolutely the best at doing? What am I the best at doing? And these waterfall questions, as you answer the first one, it's going to give you insight into the second one. And then you answer the third one and let me tell you this. Sometimes we take clients through this process and they say, who do I love to serve? Oh, it's okay. I love to serve. Okay. What do they need the most? Oh, here's what they need to do the most. All right. What do you enjoy doing? And it's like completely opposite, and it disqualifies number one and number two. Does that make sense? Because if you have a market that you love and you know what they need, but you actually hate solving the problem for them, you can't go all in on that. Okay. And then the fourth thing is, what am I best at doing? Obviously, you can build a team and we can talk about that at the end if you want, but here's what I've found is most powerful entrepreneurs, they lead from a place of being in alignment. I'll give you an example for me. I love the expert. Chris and I, we run traffic and funnels. We're some of the biggest proponents of expertise that you will ever find. Experts run the world. All right. Experts in every single industry, every single category. Your expertise, there is drastic need for what you're good at. It doesn't matter whether you are in your own business right now or not. Maybe you work at a different place or you have a boss or whatever, but what you're good at, there are people that are starving for that. And so Who do I love to serve? I love serving people with expertise. I love serving people who may not be great at marketing. They may not be great at sales, but man, they are freaking good at what they do. And what do they need the most? Well, most of the time we found that they need help assembling and putting together the different puzzle pieces, the different components. I don't have to go deep into this. I just feel like this is helpful for you guys. But I mean, you guys want me to keep going? So I'm just kind of rambling around about this slide because I'm getting a lot of comments about this slide. So I'm kind of telling you how I think about it. Deborah says, keep rambling. Okay, done. So we love experts. We love people with expertise. And here's what they need. There's too many things that are competing for their attention. They don't really know what works and what doesn't. Excuse me. And they need help assembling the components. They need help with the expertise actually making them money. There are a lot of broke experts in the world, a lot of people who are great at what they do, but what they do isn't making them money. And what do I enjoy doing the most? I love trainings like these. I love being on with you guys, and I love writing. And I love putting together material that actually unlocks different capacities in people's brains. And then what am I best at doing? Well, I think I'm actually best at creating this kind of content, creating this type of training. And honestly, like, this doesn't work to me. Like, I could do this all day. Yesterday, I spent 2.5 hours with our elite clients, and we just sat there and did hot seats and answered questions and got into their world and got into their business. And afterwards, I was like, this is amazing. I could do this all day, every single day. And so you can see that you feel the alignment in me right now. I'm serving who I feel like I love to serve, and I'm doing what they need the most. And by the way, bonus, it just is what I enjoy doing, what I'm the best at doing. So you should take some serious time and go through this and get an alignment on this, because when you do get into alignment, you become a force of nature. You become a literal force. It's like you can have all the setbacks in the world, but man, you're in alignment, so you are cooking. Doesn't even matter. That makes sense? Helpful? Matt says, best way to find my niche's biggest problems. You get on the phone and you ask them. When we started Traffic and Funnels, we literally just got on the phone and I started asking people, hey, what is it that you need? And I've found basically a world of people who are great copywriters and great photographers and great marriage counselors and all of these people who are like, yeah, I just buying all these courses and no one's actually helped me. It's like, okay, well, we built the offer around that. Cool. Let's keep going. I want to screen grab this slide as well, because these are the questions you can ask. Again, to go back to the previous slide, one of the questions you should ask is not only what are the problems that they talk about the most, but ask yourself this question. What are the problems that my market struggles with that they don't want other people to know about? And here, just with that one question, you'll find one of the most lucrative topics that you can actually teach on. Because this goes into this is deeper psychology here, but people, when they talk about a problem, when they complain about a problem, that's a powerful thing. That's a powerful thing because they're talking about it and they realize and they understand that they need it. It's going to be easy to sell. But when people have a problem that they're almost ashamed of, and they don't want other people to know about, and you can show up and you can talk to them about that, boom, you have so much trust with them. So much trust with them. And then how long have they been struggling with this? And let me tell you this, pricing is based on the length that they've been trying to solve it, plus the pain associated every single day they have to live on without a solution. Okay. Again, this goes back to sophistication, because over the summer, we have a beautiful house here in Franklin, Tennessee, and my wife is awesome, and she's a full-time entrepreneur, and she cuts hair, and she's got a studio, and I'm obviously doing the business thing. And so we just, if we have to do everything in the house, like, we don't have time to build the business. And so we have someone who cuts our yard. And there were a couple of weeks that my wife was getting mad because the guy didn't show up to cut our grass. But the pain associated with that was not very intense. I want to put this into practical terms so you can understand, like, pricing is literally attached right into the pain associated with every day you have to live without a solution. But then we talk to businesses all the time where they're like, look, I have 3 months to figure this out and I've wasted a bunch of money on traffic. Okay, well, pain is high. Every day they have to live without a solution. It's very intense for them. Okay, so ask yourself these questions and put your offer into this. And then the how. This is important too. I spoke with someone who, the what and the who were really good, but when it came down to it, he was taking forever to solve the problems for his clients, and he was working like 120 hours. So ask yourself these questions: how quickly can I solve the problem? And what processes or systems can I use so that my results are very consistent? You don't want a whole bunch of variance. All right, you don't want one client is like great results, one client doesn't get any results, and there's variance all over the place, because that's going to rob you of belief. And then ask yourself, if I step out of the picture, what are the things I can put into place right now so that the results are not compromised, even if I'm not around? And here's where your pricing comes from on this. Pricing is based on the speed at which the results show up and the certainty of those results.